Well, welcome everyone. Nice to see you. Oh, Ernie. There's Ernie and Stephen Mack, Travis. Some people haven't appeared. I only see they're all. Oh, there's Mr. Churchman. We've got Robert Crossman. Somebody let him in. Anu. Yeah. Well, we'll give it another minute because it looks like people are coming in. Do you need help, Kathleen? If not, I was thinking I'm going to read something tonight to out of the Course in Miracles, something I read all the time, but I feel like it's quite good tonight. Okay, so if you have a book like this, it's on page 468 under the message of the holy relationship. Now, we're not going to go into the Course in Miracles, but this is just a beautiful negation of what we're not. Yeah, very clean, no switching from what you are, what you're not, what just negation of what you're not. So he says here, we have heard a very similar description earlier. So in the book earlier to this, obviously a lot of the book is describing what we're not. Yes, with the hopes that what we are hears it. The dilemma is to be clear that what you're not's going to show up pretty quick in time and hear the message. Yes? And when it hears the message, it hears it from a previous message about what you're not, which is you're that. And therefore, it infects its understanding into the message, which neuters the message. Just that simple. Yeah. So the only way you can understand a message if it becomes palatable to the mental logic. Yeah. And this doesn't non-duality doesn't stand for that. Yeah. So here he goes, we have heard a very similar description earlier. Okay. A description of something, obviously. You can't describe the indescribable, can you? No. So there's no description of the indescribable. So there's a description of a describable. Yeah. So and they went over it and they're going to do it again. And he goes, yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. What? That's pretty cool. So similar description, yeah, of, it didn't say of what, but it said a description earlier, but it was not of you. Yeah, so it's not a description of you, it's really a description of what you're not. Yeah. And the dilemma is the head will rush in and try to claim to be the hero of that message of what you're not. Yeah. As what you're not. Yeah. So it's mechanical. It's not like, oh, only certain people that happens. It's mechanical. The mental process has a mechanical reaction to conscious contact, and that is to claim it. Yeah. Yes. To build a you. And then everything else in life is now being seen and understood and experienced from this you that you're not. Yeah. So this is why it's not important for the you to understand it because it can't. Yes, it's what's important to understand is that the you cannot understand it. That's what's important. Yeah. It's important for the for us to see that that which we're not cannot understand this message. So you can move on. Yeah. And everything else. Yeah. You can apply all the mental processes, talents, and it's not going to crack this egg. Yeah. Because it's already based on a presumption that there's a you that you're not. So we got to get to the exact point, and that point isn't after you, it's before you. Yeah. So here he's describing something, and it says, but it was not of you. but still this strange idea, yeah, which it does accurately describe you think is you. So there you are. Yeah. So the thinking is sort of making it so. Yeah. So it's brought about, or it seems to appear to be something through thinking. So which is a very is obviously a mental process. So the thinking has a big role in this idea of what you're not. Yeah. Because for something that's not there, it has to be thought to be there. Yeah, that's how the head conjures it up. It's not there, but it thinks it's there. And how does it think it's there? By thinking about it was there in the past and about thinking it's going to be there in the future. And then it uses those little movements to say, well, I'm thinking about it right now. Yeah. So that which I'm thinking about is here because it was in the past and it's going to be in the future. So it's obviously here now. That's not true. It's just made up. Yes. Yeah. So what's so doesn't need to be thought to be so. It stands to be so. What's not so needs to be thought to be so. And if there's faith in the thoughts, then you'll have faith in that. And that will be pictured not as a thought, but as the thinker of the thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. If but still this strange idea, which does accurately describe you think is you. This is the diagnosis of the Course in Miracles. Yeah. This thing that we have described, which is not you, no matter how much we describe it as not you, you think it's you. Yeah. Now, it's not you thinking it's you. There's thinking it's you. I don't believe there's you doing it. See, this is where I disagree with how the Course of Miracles in language is presented. I don't believe you're doing the thinking. I don't. I think thinking is a mental process. Yeah, yeah. So reason would tell you, or wisdom, they use the word reason a lot to imply sort of wisdom, yeah. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours. Now let's check that out. That's a trippy thing. Because obviously you've never thought the eyes that are seeing the world are not yours, have you? You may have thought about it in a strange way, but basically the thinking is rooted in that assumption, these eyes are yours. And it's, you're the one who's seeing, you're the one, yes, yeah. So this is a pretty interesting idea. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours. See, but the reason you're listening to doesn't tell you that at all, does it? The mental reasoning that we rely on does not tell us that these eyes that see the world are not ours. They completely assume that they're ours. Completely. There's very little leakage there. Yeah. But so it says reason. So we're not looking for the reason that we sort of understand. We're looking for a new reason. Yeah. Or a new wisdom. Yeah. That puts into suspicion that which is always the one that's suspicious. To put that into suspicion. Yes. Yeah. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. All right. So what does the reason in the head make sense to? They're basically saying not you, because it could never make sense to you. So if we sure believe the reasoning is making sense to us, but that we must not be that us if you're following the Course of Miracles. We're not expecting this from like Stanley down the street. It's meant to be the mind of Christ talking. So we're assuming some quality that's not readily available is speaking about our situation. Yes, not like Jim down the street, though it could be Jim down the street. Yeah, so reason So just follow it. You just follow what it's saying. So reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. So then the reason that's making a lot of sense of it mustn't be yours, and it mustn't really be reason. It mustn't be wisdom. Maybe it's a reason from a failed system. Yeah, yes, yes. So to whom would seeing such as this, so this is a question, pretty nice. Like people like the idea of self-inquiry. These are also sort of inquiring of self. Not saying it's you, but inquiring of self, this. To whom would seeing such as this, yeah, seeing through the eyes that see the world, the reason that all this shit's making sense to you when in fact it's not reaching you at all, what you really are, all that stuff. To whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? I mean, where is you know, the chute, the chute, that messenger going through? Where are they going to? They're not getting to what you are, they're going to what you're not. There's no what you're not. So they're going to the head to reinforce the story of you. Yeah. So to whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? Surely not you. So here, let me go to the first thing. It says, but it was not of you. And now they're going, surely not you. So I think if you would stay on this, he's going to get pissed off quickly in the next paragraph. So he goes, it's not of you. Surely it's not of you. You know, I mean, do you need any more convincing? Surely not you, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. I know everyone knows, but let's put a different meaning to sight. Sight isn't just vision through an eye. Sight is awareness, yeah? When you have insight, it's not vision, it's something else. So they're using the word sight as not just the experience of seeing a thing through the camera of an eye. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. So basically, we have a sight that can actually see the sight. Yeah. So there's a sight that can see the seeing through the eyes. There's something before the seeing of the through the eyes that can see that. This is the freedom, really, because now you see what you used to look from, which is what you're not. Yeah. And you see the eyes that see the world from what are not eyes, but have very clear sight, you know, an awareness, let's say. So now you start seeing what's being described here as surely not you. You start seeing it, you become aware of it. So there seems to have been a step back. You didn't know you made one or not because the head's not going to tell you, but you've stepped back out of the machine in a sense, and the machine isn't quick enough to get back to where you are. So you finally see it. Yeah. It will claim it in a minute or two, but or in a second or two, but a second can be an eternity in no time. So you may see a whole lot in that second before the mental process claims it and says it's you. You may see a huge amount in that little seemingly second of a moment because the downloads aren't based on time. They're timeless. So you can get a huge download in a nanosecond. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot can be revealed in a moment that seems to be so short. It doesn't matter because it's not about it's not a weight or an amount of download. It's a sudden download that explains a lot. Yeah. Which is what we're triggering, or hopefully you get triggered by certain books that have moved you, or a satsang, or a talk, or looking at one day, gazing and something occurring. This is how what happens. A whole lot gets downloaded in a very tiny bit of time. Yeah. So to whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? it's going to answer this. Surely not you. So, okay, so where are the messages going to? Me. Well, from their eyes, this eye of sight, this awareness from supposedly the mind of Christ, that you is not you. Yeah. That's the point. So, surely not you, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. So the one who thinks they have eyes is not what's actually seeing. That which is seeing is independent of the eyes that see the world. Yeah. Now it doesn't look like it's independent after the eyes, so probably it's before, in a sense. So maybe a timeless state that doesn't happen. See, this independence of the eyes that see the world isn't an experience or an event that happens. It's a fact that you are before the eyes that see the world. Yeah. Timelessness will always be before time. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So if this is not your vision, what can it show to you? I humbly throw in, it's not your vision. It's, yeah. If it's not your vision, what can it show to you? It's not your vision. That's a pretty good bit of information. Yeah. And then this is one of my favorite statements because I feel this could take the place of 12 books, this one sentence. Yeah. It could be uh, the reason why to untold questions in talks and everywhere. Yes. And that is the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. This you would understand, but really this is the one. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. So knowing it or not, this whole system that we call a thing, a person, a body, the brain is giving us the life we live. It's describing the life we live. It's interpreting the life we live. And it's biased completely because the brain is part of the body and interprets everything to the body. Yeah. Even spirituality interprets to the body. Even spirit interprets it to the body. So now, instead of being spirit, you want to become spiritual as a body. Yeah. So, but the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. Again, he says, this you would understand. So he whacks you with, it's not you, where it goes, but it was not of you. And then it's surely not you. And now it's the last one, he goes, oh, that you would understand. I mean, these are incredible emphasis of this description. So they're describing the activity of what you're not, because there's not a thing that's not you. There's an activity that uses a thing to reinforce its activity, which is selfing. There is no self that's doing the selfing. The selfing is used to imply something, a self. Yeah. So here it says, this you should understand. But what it says you cannot understand, yet you have listened to it. Wow. Yeah. I would say ad nauseum. Yeah. And long and hard you tried to understand his messages. You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. You're not getting the messages that the brain is sending. It doesn't know your original address. It's sending it to the thing. It's sending to this idea of being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. That is what it takes to be your origin when you have a different origin. So you're not getting the messages, and you're not meant to get the messages. The messages are meant to circulate through the system to reinforce the system. Yeah, yeah. Yet you have listened to it. A lot of why you've listened to it because it's been presented as you, and without a sense of what you are, you're looking for one, and it will supply a sense of you. Yeah, you as the doer, the thinker, the this or the thater, and it will just repeat that the rest of your life. Yeah, it's not you doing it. You're the audience of it. Yeah. You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. You have received no messages at all. I believe you're past that because now you recognize that it's not you. At least you've entertained that possibility. So now you have realized it is impossible to understand what fails to entirely to reach you. Yeah? You realize that it's never going to get it. It's saying it right here. You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. He's talking one way about the spirit, but you can apply it to the head. The head's never going to get the message that it's not the head. It's not, you can't do it. Yeah, it doesn't have, it has a ceiling. It can only go so far. It's a finite failed system. Yeah. You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. I think many people have actually now. You have received no messages at all you understand, for you have listened to what can never communicate at all. That's an interesting one. Yeah. Think then what happens. And this is the one of the best descriptions that I've heard, other than from me. That's why I'm using it. I don't want to hear me anymore today. Losing my perch. And here it goes. Denying what you are. What person right now, if you took a second and looked at what you were doing, I don't think the first thing you would say was, I'm denying what I am. But in fact, what this represents is a denial of what you are. Like it or not, it's not you doing it. Yes, you're not at fault here, but the occupation or the sense of attachment with this is one of the effects of the act of denying what you are. Yeah. I do not believe there's a you denying what you are. I think there's a denying what you are and then a you's made up out of it. Yeah. I don't. I do not believe you're a thing that can do shit and and ruin your life. I believe we're moved. Yeah. We're constantly moved by situations and things and faith and all this. I don't believe there's a singular person that is traveling. I just don't. So denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. Wow. I think that's one of the clearest descriptions. Denying what you are, and at the same moment, and being firm in faith that you are something else. So you could say, really, firm in faith that you are something else is the denial of what you are. Yes. You could switch it around. Yeah. So this something else, now they say that, and I disagree with the wording. Who cares really, but I do. Because I feel like there's something that they miss with this, with the English, which is they go, this something else that you have made to be yourself. I do not believe there's a you that made it to be yourself. I think there's a making it to be yourself, and then there's a you that seems to go along with that. Yes? Yeah. I believe the mental process is making this something else, and then it presents it as we are doing it. Yeah. And most people will never even get to this point. But the defense of the failed system has many walls. Yeah. Most walls you have no idea because you're grazing sort of whatever unbeknownst. So you're not even getting closer to the fences that it has you fenced in a sense. But when you break through, there's other walls. The other walls is the sense of doership of all this stuff. When you hear a description of what you're not, you come out of it sometimes as, oh, I've done all this fucking shit. I'm denying what I am all day, and it produces a whole nother reservoir of guilt called like spiritual guilt. Yeah, they talk about that in the course, which is people believe in a sense that they have split from a godhead. Yeah, and now they're fucking what? They're at, what is that thing? FAFO. I fooled around and found out. And now there's a huge amount of guilt. Who wants to learn more about? If you're the one, yes, you'd rather just be ignorantly blissful at all possible. But here, what we're seeing is what we're not. And I'm really keen on that. I am keen to the point that I can do a fearless inventory of what I'm not. I can, because I don't have any dog in the hunt. I don't. I'm not shielding it. I don't feel bad about it. I did all that. No, this is not a Paul Hedderman expose as what I really am. It's an expose of Paul Hedderman. Yeah. But his Paul Hedderman is the topic of the expose. It's not the one. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I don't like that wording. So I like to go denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. This something else that your head has made to be yourself. Yeah. So the head presents this as you, becomes your sight. Yeah. This again is in vision because there's a lot of way of seeing things, perceptually, a lot of things. Suddenly now, that which is the active denial of what you are is in full fucking control and is using, yes, this whole activity, and it now becomes the guide that you're relying on, as blind as a fucking bat, the guide that you're going to take consultation and direction from, because it's presented you as blind to begin with when you're not, but it's blind. Yes, but it will never admit that. We have this problem in recovery. It's called one of the major delusions of the head, which is when confronted with tons of evidence that it's not managerial quality, it just takes a little hiccup and goes, well, I need to manage better. That's its answer. No, the answer is you're not managerial quality. Period. The system has failed. More oil isn't going to make it work. More pushing on the gas, it's not going to start anymore. It's failed. Yeah. Yes. That's the beauty. The beauty of seemingly uncompassionate recognition of what you're not. To hell with it. To hell with it. You're just. It's sort of like Ulysses with the sirens. You don't look back. You just go. Yes, yeah. So here you go. So denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. So this is a dualistic movement, obviously. Yeah. On one side, there's the denial of what you are. The other side is the firm in faith in that you are something else. Yeah. Yes. Presented by the head. Yes. This something else that you have made to be yourself becomes your sight. So now in recovery, we start listening to this reasoning, yeah, this guide, which is guiding us with thought mostly and interpretations of feelings and circumstances. Yes. This is what's guiding us. Yeah. We're following its dictates. Yes. And we're getting its results, unfortunately, calling them ours. Yeah. Yeah. And in recovery, to me, the real exact nature of the wrong is almost like a parasite, recognizing the biggest threat to it would be the host, just knowing it's a host, because knowing it's a host would realize it's not the parasite. It convinces the host that it's the parasite. So the biggest threat the parasite has with its takeover is the host's own quality of not being the parasite. It completely neuters that, because now the host is taking itself to be the parasite. Yeah. The one card the host has is I'm not the parasite, is taken away. And now you're trying to get better as the parasite. Yeah. And on, and every failure isn't seen as the great success it is. It just gathers his forces, pulls back up, and gets in a different vehicle and runs into the same fucking wall over and over again. Yeah. So here, denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. This something else that the head has made to be yourself becomes your sight. So now there's like complete reliance. I'm not saying there's you completely reliance, but there is complete reliance now on the system to direct us, to guide us, to actually be us. Yeah. So it says here, so now this something else has now become your sight, and it must be this something else that sees and as not you. So now something is taking the place of you seeing what's going on and giving you its idea of what's going on.
Right.
Simply here, it says it right here. First, okay, all that shit brings it to this crescendo. It now becomes your sight. So all this little mental activity hits a crescendo. It now becomes your sight. What happens? It must be the something else that sees and as not you. Yes. So now you've given up the living. You haven't. There's been a giving up of the living. It's always presented as a you that did it or has been done to, but there's no you. This is just verbing. So now there's been a giving up of the living. Yeah. And giving it over to this guide that has now become our sight, that is not us. All right. And so it must be the something else that sees, and as not you explains its sight to you. This is why I believe this you that they're talking about is really the audience of awareness. And this play, this stage, this event is playing to the audience. The head is playing to the audience constantly because it needs the audience, because the audience is the light, is the awareness, is what brings light to the play. Does it all. Yeah. So, and as not you explains its sight to you. Exactly. It explains its sight to you. Your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. This is non-duality, the message of non-duality, that the vision has not been lost with this new sight. The vision is always readily available. And your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. You would stop being the one who is led by the guide. Yes, you would lose interest in the story. Would there be with the leading of the guide, would there be a projection of a you? Yes, it would continue, but you're not in those shoes anymore. Yeah? So your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. But if your eyes are closed and you have called upon this thing to lead you, asking it to explain to you the world it sees, you have no reason not to listen, nor to suspect that what it tells you is not true. Now you do. You've heard a message. Who's that guy that rode in Revere, Paul Revere, before the revolution? The British are coming. The British are coming. Satsang, you've heard it. There's no excuse. I'm going to say it again right here. The crescendo is there's a seemingly a reliance on something else to be our sight. Yes? Okay, yet it must be the something else that sees and as not you explains its sight to you. Yeah? Your vision, awareness, it's not ours. Let's just say vision. But the language, the language is a subjective language given to objects. That's why it's such a weird way of delivering a message, because it keeps saying there's a you doing a lot of shit that a lot of shit's has been done by no, but there's been no doer thereof. There is no you doing this to you. Yeah. So it must be this something else that sees and is not you explains its sight to you. This happens in a really naked way when you have gotten sober from addiction for a day or two, maybe, and the head is working fucking really hard to convince you that it would be a good idea to take a drink. And you realize it can't be you, because if it would just take a drink. It's busily trying to convince someone that I'm not suspecting to be there, because it isn't a thing, but the audience of awareness, it's attempting to convince something to do something that it can't do. It can only suggest to do. It can't move your arms without something else's permission, in a sense. Yeah? Yeah. So as not you explains its sight to you. So you have given up the seeing, and you're in a delay, and you're waiting for the head to interpret what's going on. Yeah. So this is why you can have a weird experience where you go to work and you're there the whole day, and then when you get home around 7 o'clock at night, the head tells you you had a bad day. And because you were seemingly completely absent, you don't know any better, so you start thinking, I had a bad day. And then you'll call up some people to verify it. I had a bad day today. Oh, I had a bad day. On and on and on and on and on. Just this, and it you're so, the head is, the head can't be still. It can't. So if you can be still, this can break. But if you can't be still, it will grab whatever interpretation's offered and hang a hat on it. And now it had a bad day. Yes? It just wants that be a conclusion. And after a way, it doesn't matter. It just wants to be identified with something. It doesn't matter. Yeah? And this thing rushes in and does and provides something. Yes? So here, if your eyes are closed and you have called upon this thing to lead you, wow, that could be a condition you're in. Yeah. Not that you did it, but that may be the condition. The eyes are closed and something is leading you. Yeah. Asking it to explain to you the world it sees. You have no reason not to listen, nor to suspect that what it tells you is not true. Well, now we have tons of reason. Reason would tell you it cannot be true because you do not understand it. Yeah. So to me, I haven't read this whole book, and I haven't read a lot of whole books. I haven't. But this is one of my, obviously, I keep going back to this. This is a treasure chest. These sentences. If you can hear this, not from what's being described, but from the indescribable, it's one of the best descriptions of what we're not, the activity of what we're not, in my humble book. And I'm not a scholar, but I didn't have to go anywhere else. This did the job. this and a few other things that I always go back to in the satsangs we attend is because of the effect they've had. This brought a certain finality to a lot of the it just ties something up in a box very nicely. Yeah, and it's not like it doesn't demand much. All you have to do is listen to it or read it, and it's not only a couple of paragraphs. Yet, even just the one nugget that really realize or at least entertain that the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part could that could go a long way in the continual diagnosis of what's happening. Because you can't rely on that head to be the diagnostic tool. You can't. It's got a prejudice completely. Yeah. It's never going to shed much light on anything. It's all reflected light from us. Yes. It is not a source of light. It's like a moon in this system. It depends on the sun. Yes. And yet the moon is a jealous fucking moon. So it doesn't want any sun to be recognized. And it takes over the sun's role as a moon. Yeah. Yeah. That's why we're adapting to being blind, because there seems not to be any light in our lives. Yeah. Yeah. So this is just a great, I mean, even tonight, I just got so much more out of it. It's just, it's like an, it's like one of those lemon squeeze bottles, but it just keeps replenishing itself. It's just incredible. I've squeezed this paragraph so many times over the years, and it's still just got a super pump on it tonight for me anyway. I'm just like amazed at the clarity that was presented on a page in the middle of a book. Wow. And the simplicity of it, surely not you. Of course it ain't you. The descriptions are not of you. Yes. Yes. If your vision, this is so beautiful. This is a non-duality answer. You would think after this all was described, there was going to be a whole lot of heavy lifting to get out of this. But its answer is your vision, which is readily available at all times, would of course render this quite unnecessary. That is the efficiency of non-duality. The efficiency of non-duality is your own nature renders it quite unnecessary, all the heavy lifting and all the efforting that your head says you're going to have to go through. Yeah. Yeah. Don't fool that the brain is interpreting your spiritual processes to the body. Yeah. It only sees like a hammer would only see nails. The body, christened as the doer, can only see doing. I'm going to have to do myself into a state of being. It can't realize it's being already. So it's only going to use the only thing it knows how to use is the do thing. Yeah. Just like it says in Zen, one beautiful statement, you cannot use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. Yeah. What does the head do? The head uses activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. I don't care if it's in the greatest temple in the world or in a cave. That activity, if being conducted by this blind guide, that activity to produce stillness is just producing activity. Yeah. You don't need to produce stillness. It's the basis of everything. Every movement has the basis of stillness. Yes. Stillness is not after you've gotten sick and tired of movement. There's only movement in stillness. Stillness is the space that any movement could occur in. Yeah. Do you really will all the clouds that you've seen move in the sky, have you seen the sky ever move? All the cloud formations that you have seen in the sky that move and actually are used mostly constantly moving, have you ever seen the sky move? No. The sky is still, which allows tons of movement. Ramana Maharshi gave us a declaration, which is be still. Yeah. Like the sky. Yeah. The head wants to be a cloud that can experience the sky because it can only see everything as a cloud. How can that cloud be still? It's not of its nature. So be still will be heard as an order, and you'll fail miserably. And with this message, that failing miserably will be a great success because you'll get fucking suddenly tired of all the activity to produce stillness, and there'll be a giving up, and there's the stillness. Yeah, not brought about by activity, but because of the failure, finally, the recognition of the failure activity, the stillness becomes readily available. Yeah, there's a there's a movement in that. It's not the way the head presents you're here and you're going to do this and get there. It doesn't work, that logic, with our nature. Our nature is what's readily available at all times. The other stuff isn't. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's really cool. Well, I had such a nice time reading this. I'm going to read it again to the next group that unknowingly shows up. Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. The succinctness, I just love it. I just love when the negation doesn't fall into any kind of misspent passion to fit around the person that's being described, just ruthlessly describes what you're not. It's beautiful. I think it's such a beautiful thing. And and you'll appreciate that kind of message after. Yeah. Because all the coddling and trying to make it fit you, it doesn't work. It really doesn't. I saw that with I had some strange things have happened, and one thing is a French headhunter who listens to us, but he's a headhunter for companies and stuff. He had a new customer, client of, and it was a very expensive new project of a rehab in Thailand, and he wanted to present the program director position to me. So I said, I'm not directing anything, but yeah, I'll talk to them. And so they called me up every week for a while. And then they asked me on my opinion, so I gave it. And I said I would emphasize service, yes. And so they were going, oh yeah, yeah, service is important. So that means we're going to have to we have to make tailor-made services to fit the clients. And I said, no, 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 no. Throw the client into going to the soup kitchen. You see, this is what happens when money gets into it. Yeah. They're paying $30,000 for the month. We're going to fit the service to fit them. Yeah. And that's not going to work. You throw them into the service. Yeah. So again, a lot of things, the most important emphasis is the direction of it. Yeah. It's nice to tell the difference of the coming and going. Yeah. See what's happening first instead of calling what's an effect of that first. Yes. Like we have this in recovery. I thought it was very big where they say, why are you in so much fear today in the book? Just sort of like this paragraph. It was a question mark. Why are you in so much fear today? And it doesn't let you answer. It says, isn't it because self-reliance has failed you? Incredible statement, literally. So, because most people talk like about fear like a big cause, fear is causing this and this and that. But in this view, it's seen as an effect. Yes, and the cause is self-reliance. Once again, that word self. Reliance on what? They just described it right here, where it says you surrender basically to this thing, and now this thing become yours. This thing becomes your sight. What is that but self-reliance? Something other than you, let's call it self, is your sight. You've given it over to them. It says it right there. So we say, isn't because self-reliance has failed you. So this reliance on this thing that has now become our eyes has failed us and is producing all these effects. And one of them is fear. Yeah, a huge fear. Yeah. And most people, that's one of the biggest topics they talk about all day. There's somehow a basis of anxiety in them. Yes. That doesn't really seem to have a start or anything, but it's just there and it's producing all these other effects. It was just described in this book, and it's just described in the big book of AA. Yeah, because both of them are describing what we're not. Both of them. Yeah, they're just talking to the result of these paragraphs was self-reliance on self. That's exactly, and then AA takes it from there and says, it's the reliance on self that is the producing all the fear. Yes, exactly. You could have tied these two together seamlessly. Yes? They just took one turn, which is all right. What he just described in the Course of Miracles is producing all the fear in one's life. Yeah? So what you're afraid of isn't producing it. You're in a fear already. And then you're looking to find what you're afraid of. And that fear isn't coming from what you're afraid of, like not having money or not. It's coming from the self-reliance, having a blind guide guiding you. Yeah. Perfect, seamlessly. Yeah. Let these things hit. They change your geography, The mental landscape, which are filled with mountains, are seen as molehills. When you're in the mountains, they seem like mountains. When you see them, they're molehills that are made to look like mountains. Yeah, they're molehills. From the eyes that are independent of the world, the eyes do not see mountains. They see molehills. The eyes that see the world see them as mountains. Yeah. You can't have the molehills with the mountains. Yeah. You can go to a controlled environment for a week and all the mountains will be molehills. But when you leave that retreat center or that whatever it is, the molehills will turn into fucking mountains again. Yeah. That which loves the mountains can have the recognition of a molehill only to go back to the mountains again. Yeah. Why is it so difficult to sustain what you feel in a controlled environment? Because every other environment is controlled by your head mostly. Yes? So you go into a week where they're controlling thing, the head will take that as a fucking field day. It knows it has you on the 8th day. It doesn't give a shit. It says, go, yeah, because as soon as you leave, I'm going to be the one that was there the whole time. Just going to claim away everything. And then I'm going to tell you, you need to do more. And you'll do more, 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 more. It loves that. It loves the act of becoming. Yeah. If you can promise you're going to become being, it will sign up for 50 years of becoming being. But if it's confronted with the being, it's no bueno. No bueno. I want to do something. Yeah. Non-duality is very disarming. It's not a new way to combat or go to war. It's not. It's completely disarming. It's the greatest pacifist event here. Yes. Yeah. I feel. So, oh, I'm happy I was here tonight. I was listening to it myself. That was very nice. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll open it up. Wouldn't that be lovely if you got a real, finally, a clear idea what's causing the fear? It's self-reliance. And you get a sense of what self means, which is foreign to you. Yeah. And then maybe look at a dictionary and look at the word reliance. And then take this little idea. What would be the most extremely reliance on something? I would say taking yourself to be that something. That would be a super reliance where you've lost all sense of what you really are, relying on what you're not. You've now seemingly, for all intents and purposes, in this dream, it never could happen, never did happen, but in the dreaming, it sure seems like it's happening. You have now completely became the long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Now you're looking for what causes the fear, and you're looking from exactly what's causing the fear. And now you're looking from what's causing the fear, looking for what caused fear. And of course, all of its understandings don't really reach what you are, because it says it's them, it's this, it's that, and it's all, every arrow's missing the fucking point. Yes. Yes. And it can go on and on and on and on. Not, it's infinitum. It can't go on infinitely because this is a finite event.
Yes.
But it can seemingly go on. But there's a beautiful bedrock stone which is non-duality. I think it's the most, it has the most stopping power because it questions the starting of the stuff. Yeah, it takes the idea that it was you out of it, and you realize it's just verbing. It wasn't you that did it, and then you're going to keep doing it, and then you're going to become a bigger doer of it. No, it was just doing, being used to imply something else. Yeah, yeah. All right. Anyone? If not, we'll say goodnight tonight and have a lovely group here. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh, Marl. I haven't seen Marl in a while. You all right, honey?
I
Yes.
know. You know what? I'm getting better. I just wanted to say a really quick hi, and I'm so glad to be back. And it was really great. You were great. It was great. I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, I've just been in fear and not doing well, but but I feel better. So I'm glad to be here. So
Oh, great, honey. Great. Yes. Great. Well, you're a lifetime member, honey.
yeah,
Yes. Every time you put the card in in the key, the door, it's going to open.
I'm
Every
great.
Don't worry. Doesn't have to. You don't even have to put it in the right way. One of those things you just put in front of it, it opens up. Yes. Yes. Take that to heart, hon. When you believe in there's no one there for you, uh, that's the biggest thing that's there for you is a no one. Literally. The no one is the biggest thing that's there for you. Really. Awesomely, it can be awesomely influential and not leave a mark. It's awesome. So, all right. Nice to see you again. Kathleen, going right up the wazoo tonight, honey, eh? Yeah. Yeah. It's like a spiritual bidet. Yeah. Wow. Stephen Mack on Having Never Laughed. Always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure having you sitting there in the stillness. Yes. Anu, there you are, you little rascal. Yes.
Oh, it was just poetry today. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
It's a pleasure, honey. I enjoyed it coming through, so I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Really. I'm just I'm not even that. I have no idea what's going on. I'm out of my depth every second of the day. Really. Shiva, nice to see you, Shiva. Yes. David, as always, down under. Yeah. Gary Clark, our man in Placerville. Wow, that's an interesting lighting there, Gary. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, bright light. Thanks again, Paul. Great talk.
You're welcome. Judy Love, as always. Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
you moved 50% of the waterfall. I see that. That's
Yeah.
Alan Olson,
Thank you.
the infamous Olson brothers. Always happy. He was always smiling when we were in Italy. Yeah. I don't know about the other Olson. One of them. We've got Joey. Nice to see Joey again. And we got
Hi.
yes,
Yeah, I've been listening to you talk about a lot of this stuff, and I heard you talk about kind of faith, and that's obviously a very powerful thing. And I guess in context of Jesus and fellowship and all of that stuff, um, I'm at a friend's house and there's some beautiful statues here of Jesus and Mother Mary and stuff. So I'm kind of vibing with that and everything. And I guess in context color of my shirt, the power of that to bring people out of that place of darkness, into that light that is a freedom, and I think
yeah,
this is, it's wonderful, for people to be alive and to have the option of being faithful and civil and peaceful and
yeah.
open, not chained. So, and I'm a Zen Buddhist. I'm not even a Christian. So all of that's in alignment with Zen in the sense that Zen is just to see clearly. So
All right. Thank you, Joey. We'll see
you're
you soon.
welcome. Yeah, yeah.
Travis, our man in Santa Rosa.
Hey, Paul.
Yes? Who was that? Oh, Ernie. Nice to see you. My man, willingness.
Thank you, Paul. And it's great talk and
Paul.
very, um, yeah, it's a refreshing and it's your ability to explain it in a very layman's term. It's really good. I mean, because sometimes when I read some other books, like George Gurdjieff, he told we are just a machine. But how
Yeah.
you explain it here, it's really, I can capture it and understand it very effectively. And it just reminds me of once you see the map as a whole, then that's it. That's the finality. Just I guess the claiming and then the person, which they say it's a lot from the Latin word persona, which is just a mask which is used to for the actors to wear when they go to it's just a persona, it's just a husk, it's like a mask. So
Yes.
I guess when you see it as the verbing and everything, I think when you see the whole map, I think and that's it. There's no more. That's why when I came here in your meeting, there, like I don't really have questions because the questions just disappear. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you, Ernie. Thank you for that share. Yes. Yes. Darshan, always a pleasure. Ben in Kansas. We
Hey,
got
Paul, can you hear me? Oh, sorry.
Yes, yes, Darshan, come on in.
Yeah, I mean, I missed like the first. I'll probably watch the video back. I just got the last bit of it, but I feel like you hit the main point again, probably in that exact 10-minute span.
Yes,
Yeah, so I don't really want to add too much because I feel like you said, it's just you could endlessly riff on like that beauty. But like, I guess something I wanna say is like, I just appreciate like how authentic this space is, because I feel like, I don't know, one way I would put it is just like, there's nothing more beautiful than like complete authenticity. And it's like that complete authenticity is like admitting in a way that like powerlessness of you, that like limited viewpoint of you. And it's like, I think something you said, I think really hits that. It's like when you admit your own powerlessness, then you really feel like power. And it's not yours to use, it's not yours to own, but it's like life itself is just like moving through you. And it's just so like powerful and beautiful. And you're just endlessly grateful, really. So yeah. Thanks, man.
I think that was a nice description. I think Amelia may have had a contested endlessly grateful. But we'll take it. That's pretty nice.
How does Amelia feel? Oh, can Amelia lead one of the satsangs one time? Is she
I don't know. When we have cooking classes, she'll lead it. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Also, yeah, my brother, I said this before and you said not to say it, or you don't like it when it's said like that, but my brother is a dad, and so I'm actually an uncle now. So I'm
Yes.
gonna come to San Francisco at some time. Do you and Amelia like chai?
Yes, we like chai.
Okay. I'll try and make one of the Saturdays and then like make chai for everyone. That'd be nice.
Yeah, well, that'll be very nice. Thanks, Darshan. But chai or no, it'll be good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good one.
All right. Yes. Heather, our magician, resident magician. Nice to see you. Robert Crossman, it's hanging out with us, eh? Yeah. Very good, Robert. We only have your best interests at heart, Robert.
Paul, you've been enormously helpful. I love the group. I love the vibe. Recently, my mind started going on a lower RPM level. I still don't get the connections, but it's much more peaceful when it's revving kind of slow.
Yes, yes, yeah, yes. Well, if that's working, just keep it. Keep going. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Alan Olson again, a new Heather Bryan, friend Brian. Nice to see you, bro. Bill Churchman, always a pleasure. The largest lazy boy I've ever seen. Everyone else, hey, thank you so much for tonight. Yeah. 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 It's always a pleasure. We'll be here tomorrow, recovery, and Saturday, and on and on. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Julius, and I didn't see you. You just jumped in. Nice to see you, Julius. And Eric, SoCal. Sorry, they're just telling me you're here now.
Thank
And
you. Thank you for being a hose.
nice to see you guys. Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kathleen. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Kathleen.
You're welcome, Brian. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kathleen. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Ben.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Kathleen.